I got a little carried away bidding on this week's flip at an auction. I'm pulling out all the stops this week to see if I can still make a good profit on this or if I am just way over my head this time. Let's see if I can make this flip happen. Come on along.
Welcome into Lemons to Lemonade Furniture. My name is Kara, and flipping furniture out of our garage in Dallas, Texas has allowed our family to reach financial freedom. Come along with us and I'll show you how it's done. I picked up not one, but two of these beautiful buffets at an auction that I went to. I overpaid for both of them, of course, but I'm going to give you all the pricing breakdowns at the end, so be sure to stay tuned. I chose to start off with this buffet first. I had a really great idea in mind for it, so I'm just going to run with it. The other one I think I want to keep for my house, but I'll probably do that in a later YouTube video. But this one, I don't know anything about it. It doesn't have any markings on it or on the drawers. I don't know where it came from, but it's in pretty good shape overall. It just has some dents and scrapes on the bottom that need to be fixed, but all in all, it looks really good. This buffet has a really thick layer of polyurethane on the top, which would take me forever to get through with my sander. So I'm going to use some quick strip and let this do the job for me. Quick Strip is a very strong chemical stripper. You always want to make sure that you are wearing gloves and also have a respirator or face mask on so you don't inhale the fumes. I like to apply a very thick layer of this. I have two cans of one can that only has a little bit left, as you can see. So I want to finish this can off first, and I'm going to go over the rest with the can that has more product left in it. But once I've got a good amount on the top here, I'll go over with a chip brush that I can just toss when I'm done doing this. Time is of the essence with this, and I do live in the Dallas area, and it's very hot here right now, so I quickly need to get this on before it starts to dry. Once I have a full coat on, I will cover the top with some plastic wrap or saran wrap. Everyone always asks me where I got this big roll. I don't know. It was given to me, so I don't know where it came from. Sorry, but it's just saran wrap. That's all it is. So you'll take this and put it on the top, and then I let the citrus strip sit for about 30 minutes, and I'll come back and scrape it off. Using mineral spirits and some fine grit steel wool helps to deactivate the rest of the stripper. I let the top of my buffet dry overnight, so now I can begin sanding the rest of the finish that is left on the top. This has a decent sized piece of veneer on the top of this, so I can be a little more aggressive in my sanding. I'll start with a 180 grit and then work my way up to a 220. For the rest of these edges and curves, I'm going to use my 3x4 raised sander from Surfprep. The squishy interface pad in between my sandpaper helps it hug to all the curves and remove the extra finish. You can use my code LEMONS2LEMONADE10 on the Surfprep website to save an extra 10%. I will link all of that info below. Now that I've gotten all the finish off the top, I'll go ahead and fix the pieces on the bottom that just needed little touch-ups and give everything a good scuff sand before we start to paint.
It is so hot outside this week in Dallas that I had to move the piece inside to work on it. I was not going to paint in a 100-degree garage. I'm going to be using a new to me product, which I am excited and nervous about at the same time. This is Lilly Moon's Moon Dust. It is a milk paint, which is all natural. And it gives a really cool effect, and I can see it in my mind what I want this to look like. So I've got my fingers crossed that this works out. I've never used a milk paint before, so I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
With the milk paint, you'll mix equal parts paint and water, and it just goes on how much you think you're going to need. So I started with 3/4 of a cup, and then after you mix it together, you'll let it sit for about 10 minutes and it turns into this really beautiful consistency, and then you just start to paint. I'm using my Zibra chiseled wedge brush to apply this milk paint. I will be sure to list all the products that I've used on this flip in the comments below. I had not one but 2 little visitors while I painted inside today. Normally Mom is out in the garage, so you don't get to see these little lovelies, but they are Chinese Shar-Peis. We rescue them. This is our second pair that we've had. We just love them and all of their wrinkles. Milk paint dries pretty quickly, and you can tell when it's dry because it leaves this beautiful matte finish behind, but I waited about 3 or 4 hours between coats.
the shine on this is. It is just a beautiful matte finish in person. It's just gorgeous. So I hope it's coming through on the camera. But it had some of the chipping in the edges, which you see with the milk paint, but I wanted a little bit more of the chippy action, more like this. So I grabbed my Surfprep sander squishy foam abrasive pad, and this is a fine grit. And I'll just start taking it over everything that I want to look a little more chippy so that the chipping parts of the milk paint will come off.
Now that I'm done getting the chippy effect that I had hoped for on the buffet, I'm going to seal the piece with some Walrus Oil Furniture Wax. This is going to ensure that I no longer have any chipping on the milk paint, and it's also going to provide a water-resistant finish. To finish the top, I'm going to use Lily Moon Old Smoky Gel Stain in the colors Natural Cork and Old Fashioned blended together. These gel stains have been a huge hit over on Instagram, and they are so super popular that they usually sell out as soon as she gets in some new stock, so I'm very excited to try these. You'll need a spray bottle to dampen your work surface. This will help increase your open time. I like to apply gel stain with a chip brush. Lily Moon Gel Stain has a built-in top coat, which is a really nice plus. After the first coat, I waited about 2 hours and I wanted it just a little bit darker, so I went in with a little bit more of the Old Fashioned on the top.
It's been 3 days since I put the furniture wax on the milk paint, and it is set really, really well. I still need to buff it all back. Life got a little crazy, so I haven't been able to get back to this one. But you can see, like, there's nothing I can do now to rub off those chippy parts anymore. The milk paint and the furniture wax has really sealed that in. So once I distressed everything that I wanted to distress with the milk paint and put the wax on, it is totally set now, and no more of this is going to chip off, which is really cool. So you can get the desired effect that you want and then put the top coat on it, and it's not going to budge.
The handles needed a little freshening up, so I used a metallic champagne bronze to pretty much just match the color that they were before. So before I go over how much I spent on this one, let's remember what our before looked like before we get to our after.
So this right here is my profit off of this flip. I ended up making $350 after taking out my purchase price and the price for all my supplies. I paid over $200 for this piece, which is really high for me, but someone was bidding against me and I got really excited and I just couldn't let this one go. So this one cost me more upfront than I normally do pay. I listed the piece for $700 and it sold in less than 24 hours, which was another big clue that I listed it too low. But that's the way it goes sometimes. I needed the money this month for school tuition for my kids, and so it didn't have to come out of pocket, so I'm grateful for that. But all in all, if you're flipping to keep pieces like this was a really good score because these buffets can retail anywhere around $3,000 sometimes. So spending about $300 on a really well-made quality buffet is a really good savings at the end of the day. If you want to see some other buffet flips that I've done using different techniques, you can watch this video here. And I hope I've kept you entertained enough to hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to tell me where you're tuning in from, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.